You gotta be able to kind of have this like a chess move. You gotta know where you're putting your guys. You gotta know what millennials, what they want, where they're trying to go. You know what I mean? So challenging them is very, very important by helping them stretch themselves, being a coach to them. What's going on? This is Michael Barayev with Spitting Fire. And today is a Monday, and as you guys know, every single Monday we spit fire! I love my man Eric, E. Crizzle, E. Shizzle, E. Dizzle! Today we're going to talk about how you can start learning to work with millennials, and why most people say that millennials are lazy, uninspired, unmotivated. And we're considered a millennial. You're kind of like the older crowd of the millennial. I'm considered borderline millennial. I'm a millennial, man. I was born in 1991. I'm 27 years young, and he's 34 years old. Just kidding, right? But that's where he's at, that's where I'm at, and we're considered millennials. Some of you guys that are watching this are considered millennials as well, because you're 19, you're 20, you're 25, you're 30, you're maybe even 36, 37, and you're on the borderline of being the generation of being a millennial. So, what is a millennial? Like, what is a millennial? Eric, let's talk about what a millennial is, which we just explained by the, by the birthday, but what is a millennial in a older mind's perspective, a Generation X, a generation, a boomer, right? A boomer generation. How do they view millennials?
Well, I mean, thank you. I would say they have a general perception where they can manage and deal with technology much better. Excuse me. Some of the kind of older crowd, who haven't gotten into the age of technology yet.
You okay, buddy?
I think so. I think I'm dying a little bit. Thank you. It's my way to get some of his coffee.
Awesome.
I believe that they view them, like you said, as kind of lazy. They don't have the discipline as the older crowd. They don't appreciate things as much. Maybe they feel like they don't earn as much.
Maybe the
entitlement mentality.
That's what they say.
This is what the traditional views are. I think that they believe, and I think there is some truth to this, that the millennials have a much better understanding of technology and computers and cell phones. And
they think they kind of waste their time all day.
Yeah, maybe a lot of time wasters. Their values are probably different. Like they value there's kind of a few pictures out there on the internet where everyone's sitting around around the dinner table and everyone's on their phone. The times of just kind of talking and spending time together. And
now, do you agree with those opinions?
I mean, I think there's always going to be some truth to some of those things, but I think that their perception is not necessarily the reality in a lot of these cases. Like, for instance, one of the first things that we'll talk about it, is that millennials are not lazy.
Absolutely.
They just have other motivating factors. And
correct.
Some of the older generation just hasn't been able to identify what they are, so they can't.
You know what I realize is that millennials are not lazy if you put them in the right vehicle. Ooh. If you put the millennial in the right vehicle, they will perform at levels you have never imagined. Like, for example, we hire a lot of, our target audience is people that are between the ages of 18 and 35. This doesn't mean we don't hire people that are 40, 45, 50, but we look for...
We have a 70-year-old, thank you.
We actually have a 70-year-old that works for us. Yeah, it's crazy, right? We have everything from 80 to 70, right? So we are looking for people that are hungry, ambitious, and motivated. And usually, the people that are the most hungriest are the youngest ones because they got really nothing to lose. If you're 18 years old, you're 20 years old, you're 25 years old, you live with your parents, or you live by yourself, you don't really have any kids yet, you don't really have a husband or a wife, you don't really have responsibilities that much, you're more likely to risk more because you have a higher threshold to make mistakes. So we look for people that are a millennial, because millennials, if you treat them right, they will stick with you forever. As a matter of fact, millennials are the most loyal. Okay, I know people have heard otherwise, but millennials are the most loyal if you give them an opportunity to be loyal too. Because if you don't give them a reason to be loyal, why would they be loyal? A lot of people think that loyalty is 100%. You have to you have to give loyalty no matter what. I disagree with that view. I believe that you have to be the one that gives them the chance to be loyal. If you abuse your people, if you don't take care of your people, you don't give them a chance, you don't give them an opportunity, you don't believe in them, you don't take care of them, why should they be loyal to you? Who are you for them to be loyal to? You know what I mean?
Another traditional view on that point of loyalty and stuff like that is that I've heard something recently where people are much more likely to sell out these days. Back in the day, everyone was loyal, and nobody
That's
would.
bullshit.
That's bullshit. You wouldn't sell out on somebody, but now people are quick to sell out, and they'll quote unquote rat on people. And
I don't believe that. I mean, I believe like maybe in the street gangs, in the street world. Not really familiar with that world, but I can tell you one thing: being a millennial, I always was looking for something to be loyal to. I always was looking for a cause, a mission, something to chase, right? Which I believe is that, if you want to retain millennials, if you want to hire millennials, you need to learn that they are motivated. We are motivated by dreams, aspirations, goals, big targets, hairy, audacious goals, things that may scare the normal individual. We like that kind of stuff. We want to be part of a company or a culture or a group of people that are chasing something huge, that are chasing impact. It has to have a purpose. There's got to be a heartbeat to it. If there's no heartbeat, you may lose us. Especially a guy like me. Like, I'm very ambitious. I'm very motivated, but I love the fact that I'm able to chase something and it pulls me emotionally. It doesn't push me, it pulls me. So you gotta create an environment where it pulls people to become great and they actually chase that vision.
You're bringing up an interesting point. I think, traditionally speaking, the old school crowd was kind of, I don't want to say pushed into things, but I feel like they were motivated more by their parents and their teachers, kind of pushing them towards something.
It's crazy.
I think today's day and age, like you said, it's more about being pulled towards something, a bigger vision. So maybe
you know what's crazy? And I'm sorry to interrupt. They keep saying that millennials are rebellious, and the reason why, I'll give you an example. When you look at my grandma, right? She's a cardiovascular surgeon. She was a doctor,
still,
right? Not now. I mean, she's 79 years old. I just spoke to her yesterday. She's 79 years old. She just turned 79 a couple weeks ago. Actually, a couple months ago. Whoops, right? So she turned 79 years old. Right, that were in March. She turned 79 in March, and the crazy thing is that her mother forced her to be a doctor. She was telling me the story how my great grandmother forced my grandma to be a doctor. You know what my grandma did to my father? Take a wild guess.
Forced him?
Yeah, forced him to be what?
Her wife?
No.
Her husband?
No. What do you think my grandma forced my... Come on, man. You using noodles. My grandma was forced to be a doctor. What do you think she forced my dad to be?
Doctor.
A doctor. My dad ended up being a gynecologist. And my grandma as a kid tried to convince me to be a doctor. Oh, no, that's not for me, man. You don't want me at the operating table. You know what I'm saying? ADD, I might forget it's a heart and just cut it by accident. You know what I'm saying? So why is that we as the young generation are, I don't want to say rebellious, but we have a different mentality. We have Instagram, we have Facebook.
I think there's more acceptance in today's society, so you don't want to feel forced into something.
It's not about that. We have so much connections. Think about it, like right now, you can literally go online, research what a doctor does, how they do it, why they do it, see how they live, and you can know everything about a doctor within minutes. Back in the day, you would only see the outside perspective of a doctor, and you had no other choice. Like, you didn't know what was going on in the world. I mean, the world was not connected on a global level. If you probably connected on a community level, not on a global network where everybody knows what's going on in every single country. Like what's going on in Venezuela, everybody knows. What's going on in the Middle East, we all know. Like everything's connected through the internet. So you being a young 18-year-old kid coming out of high school, your grandma's like pushing you to be a doctor. Like, I don't want to be a doctor. I hate being a doctor. I love playing video games and I want to make money playing video games.
So let me ask you a question then, and I know we're kind of getting off topic.
No,
do you feel like the fact that we're so connected and there's so much out there, and we have so much access to every little thing, that it creates confusion because people don't know what they want to do anymore because there's too many options?
I believe so. So because there's so many options and because mommy and dad are trying to shove things down their throat, they have no idea what they want to do. So they see this world of Instagram where you have beautiful pictures, yachts, watches, houses, luxury, 16, 18-year-olds making videos. You want to be rich? Hit on this Instagram swipe up bullshit. Yes. They start seeing that nonsense of what ends up happening. They start believing the entrepreneurial lifestyle when in reality they don't realize that to become an entrepreneur or to become a doctor or to become a successful lawyer, you have to go through the grind. You have to go through the struggle. You have to go through the pain. You have to go through the bullshit, and they don't understand that.
So let me ask you this.
So I believe that being connected is amazing, but it's also hurting some of the millennials if they don't utilize the information properly. So like a guy like me, I use the internet to make me money. I use the internet to bring us people. I use the internet to make us sales. Like that's what we do. And the reason why we do that is because we understand the power of the internet. A lot of young cats, they don't understand that. So for people that are hiring guys like us, use us to create greatness in your company. We are excited. We are ambitious. We want to do great things, but we don't want to be controlled. We don't want to be forced. The second we feel forced, we become rebellious for no reason. And that's how we are. Right or wrong?
I definitely agree.
Awesome.
So let me ask you then. So what, I mean, I know we've already spoken about
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
what are some of the key ways you can reach this crowd and connect with them? Because I feel like,
So, like we said, number one, understand they're not lazy. Give them, they love to work. We love to work. Okay, number two, you have to create a purposeful environment. We have to feel like there's a purpose behind it. If there is no reason, we are deuces like the gooses, okay? We have to know why we're doing it and where we're trying to go with the company, why the company is doing certain things. As a matter of fact, because the internet offers us so much information, we actually want to know why for everything. Like we can't just go to the company meeting and say, okay guys, we're doing this. The team is gonna be like, why? We wanna know why. They're gonna ask 1,000 questions. We had a meeting this morning.
which brings it to number 3.
Yes, they need a voice, right? Which is number 3. They need to have a voice. They need to be heard. We had an hour and a half meeting today with 2 of our top people on what happens when you hit a certain level because they need the answers. A lot of companies don't give answers to their people. What ends up happening, people get lost in their sauce. They have no idea what they want to do, and they don't, and they start feeling disconnected with the management levels. And that's not what we're all about. We're all about knowing. We're all about understanding why we want to do certain things. The more clarification we give the millennials, the better it is. Because when you tell them the truth and you speak the truth, like we do in Spitting Fire, they feel connected in levels you can't even imagine. So they need to have a voice.
I just to add to that, too,
Yeah.
I feel like in today's world, everyone is advocating for everyone, and everyone's standing up against, you know, their beliefs. And I feel like if you try to suppress their voice, then that's kind of that whole like.
It's a force thing, once again.
It's that force thing. It's
Yeah.
that control of like, look, you don't have a voice. Now, it doesn't mean that management's always going to take everything, you know, every single piece of advice or opinion into, you know, as
Absolutely.
a decision, but at least they get to be
Yeah.
heard and they get to share.
You know what's crazy? Like for example, in my company, and every single office, every manager, to be honest with you, is in the open area where all the agents are. I don't want the manager to have his own secluded area where you can't connect with the team. I want the team to always feel like they can connect with somebody. Even in my personal office, I let anybody walk in at any time as long as they let me know, as long as I'm not on a phone call. Like I would love to talk to anybody, any level. I don't care if you're the janitor. I don't care if you just walked in as a brand new admin or a recruiter. I don't care if you're a brand new sales guy. I don't care. I want to hear your voice. And that's what we're all about because those voices count. I have so many awesome ideas that came from so many people that were not at the higher levels of management, and they added so much impact and so much value to our company's decision. So it's very important, especially as you grow in a business. Like you got to be you got to build an environment where people can be heard, whether it's through emails, through chats, whether it's through networks or whatever it is that you're building, whether it's face to face. You got to have people's voices be heard. And this leads me to another thing. Like in order to attract millennials, especially guys like me, okay, you need to kind of have not opposing, but like you want to challenge a traditional mindset. You want to challenge the traditional thinking of all the boomer mentality of think small, go slow, take it easy, be careful. Like my mom used to always tell me, be careful, be careful. I told my mom the other day, I said, Mom, stop telling me to be careful. I'm not going to be careful because that creates anxiety. I'm going to be more aware. Tell me to be aware, focus, pay attention to what's going on. Be conscious of what's around in your surroundings. But being careful is bullshit. Being careful just creates anxiety. You're like this walking all day, being careful. And when, you know what's crazy?
You know what's careful? A squirrel. You ever see a squirrel? They're the most anxious animals in the world. They're like,
and you living a life like that is extremely painful. Like, why would you do that to yourself? I am aware. I'm conscious of what's going on. That's why I don't smoke. That's why I don't drink. That's why I don't do drugs. Because I want to keep myself always 100% aware at all times. And for some of you young cats, and for some of you, older people that are watching this, you think that millennials are smoking weed, doing this, doing that. Listen, they may be doing that, but you got to give them a reason not to. Like, I don't smoke and drink, not because I don't, may not like it or whatever. First of all, I never tried this bullshit. But even if I did try it, I wouldn't do it. Why? To be the example to the millennials, because they're looking for an example. They're looking for someone to look up to. Their parents, their school teachers, their professors have been bullshitting them for years to come. And they're keep bullshitting them. See, back in the day, you could bullshit and nobody knows. Back in the day, you could have a customer complain to you about your product or your service, and where are they going to put a review? On the local newspaper? Nowadays, it's on Yelp, it's on Google, it's on your Facebook page. They know your name, they know where you live. As a matter of fact, nowadays, you don't care about giving someone your address or your phone number. Might as well give you social. Doesn't even matter nowadays. Why? Because everything is out there in the open. Listen, if somebody wants your social, they go and get it. That's how crazy it is. Okay? So when you create an environment where people feel safe, when they want to expose, like they just want to look up to someone in a safe environment. They just want to look up to somebody in a safe, growing environment where they can feel like they're heard, but they feel like they're growing somewhere. And that to me is really important. You know, I always looked for those examples growing up. I didn't find it. So then one day I said, fuck it. I'm going to be the example. I took full responsibility of that. And now I don't really need to look to other examples. I every day look up to people that are so far ahead of me. I read their books. I watch their videos. I listen to their seminars. I go visit them wherever I can. I try to get as close to them as I possibly can, but I come back to my real world every single day to be the example for my team and for my people and for my leaders. And that's what it's all about.
So, Michael, I have a question. So,
and I'm sorry I went on a rant, but I was
it's very good. I appreciate that rant. Thank you very much. Soliloquy, as they say. So, it's a good word. So, how do you challenge, the traditional views, or how do you kind of challenge your parents or your teachers without losing, without being disrespectful? Because there's that old phrase, respect your elders. Nobody wants to disrespect.
I mean, listen, in the Chinese, actually I want to say Chinese, but that whole Asian culture and the Russian culture and a little bit of the Hispanic, not too much of the Hispanic, but in the Middle Eastern and Asian cultures, it is so huge to respect your elders. Like to the point where they say jump, you jump blindly. And to me, that's kind of crazy. Respect your elders, yes, respect them. But does that mean you have to listen to everything they say? No, because if you did, none of the apps we have today, none of the programs we have today would exist if people would have listened to their mom and dad. I mean, look at Tesla. Look at Elon Musk. He does not listen to anybody. And he's creating a world-class, he's just creating world-class products and environments where people are able to grow and become better. So if you want to change the future, you need millennials. Yeah, I'll give you some statistics, 95% of millennials, this is actually from a website we got. I don't know exactly where we got it from, but it's credible, okay? 95% of millennials want flexibility. Think about that. 95%. We're talking about people from the ages of 18 all the way to 37, 38.
So what does that mean? That they don't want to be locked in?
They don't want to be locked in. They don't like contractual shit where they say you have to do this, you have to be there, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like they don't like that dictatorship, that totalitarian lifestyle. They hate that shit, okay? 55%, check this out, 55% of millennials are not engaged at work. Why do you think that? Why do you think they're not engaged at work? Is it because the work sucks?
No purpose.
There's no purpose. They have no idea why they're there. And you're not being a coach and a leader to them to lead them and get them out of the slump. You see, when I see one of my employees or one of my workers or some of the guys that work with us and they're slumping, I want to see what's going on with them. So, I care about that. A lot of these bigger companies, they don't give a shit about their employees. They just want to say, work, fire, and you look at a number. And when you do that, people don't feel valued.
So what about a more conventional or traditional business, like, say Staples has a copy center and they have 4 employees that work in their copy center. How do they create, I walked into a Staples the other day and I saw employees that were totally disengaged.
I mean,
they're
there because they're looking for something to do and they have no other choice because they need to eat, and their $15 an hour is what they can get, and they believe so little in themselves because they have no other choice to do because they're so lost in themselves.
Staples.
No. Staples is an amazing company. I don't put them down, but I can guarantee you one thing: if you take those 4 guys that work there and bring them to my company, I guarantee you they'll be beasts. I guarantee you. Not because we're so amazing, even though we are. It's because the environment and the culture is conducive for millennials. Millennials love our culture. That's why we attract so many of them. That's why we have so many millennials. As a matter of fact, 85% of our company is millennials. Nothing bad about that. It's amazing. But we know how to work with them, right? Check this out, the stats. This is crazy stats. 50% of all millennials will be in the workforce by 2025. 50% of the workforce by 2025 will be millennials. So if you guys don't learn how to work with these kind of people, you're losing a lot of money right there. 44%, check this out, this is crazy. 44% of millennials will leave their job within 2 years. Why do you think nowadays there's so many people leaving jobs every year or 2, 3 years? It's not because the job world sucks or there's so many opportunities out there. I mean, that may be the case with opportunities, but people don't want to work in the places they're at. They see other people having a good time like Google and Facebook, and they're having a great time, having a blast, chasing a vision, being challenged. They want to create, they're looking for example, I guarantee you, Facebook, Google, all these big companies are looking for engineers. They create an environment where engineers want to be there. They want to crack the code of the product they're trying to build. They're building something that's going to be generationally being able to pass down. Like, think about that. While you're working in Staples, no disrespect to Staples, I'm just saying, do some bullshit. Why would they want to be there? Why would they want to be there? Think about that, right? 38%, this is crazy. 38% are actively seeking new roles within the company. They're in a position that they want to be in. So many people, and you know what's crazy? Because the company has their agenda, they don't put the people in the right place. As a matter of fact, we have so many people in our teams that didn't fit a certain campaign or a certain position. We moved them around, and as we moved them around, we found them click to a certain product or service or a specific position, and they started to flourish when everyone said there's going to be a loser. I got one guy, amazing kid, okay? As a matter of fact, he comes from an Asian background. And everyone looked at him and said, he's not going to succeed in one of our campaigns. We switched him over to another campaign. He's murdering it. Now, he's not the best sales guy, but he became alive. He became lively. Like, it was just a different change in him. All because...
See him this morning.
All because he was put into the right environment. So you got to be able to kind of have, this is like a chess move. You got to know where you're putting your guys. You got to know what millennials, what they want, where are they trying to go. You know what I mean? So challenging them is very, very important by helping them stretch themselves, being a coach to them. They're looking for an example. They're looking for leadership desperately. And the one thing about leadership, you cannot outsource leadership. You have to take the leadership on. You cannot say, hey, Eric, you know what? Today, I'm going to go to the gym and you're going to grow muscle. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I got to go to the gym to grow my muscles. No one can do that for me. You got to go out there and be the leader for your team and be the example. No one else can do that for you. So, I mean, the traditional views, they have to be challenged. And once you challenge those views and you be the example, oh my God, you'll build an army like that, So flexibility is huge. And, the last one is, you can kind of touch on the last one about being cool and fun.
You got to be like me. You got to be cool.
Very cool and fun. I mean, you know what's crazy? He's 34, sorry. He's 34 years old. Sorry. You're 34 years old and you have energy of a 21-year-old. You know what it is? You are childlike, but not childish. And that's very important. You're very childlike, which is what a lot of entrepreneurs have. And when you create that kind of environment where you're childlike and just like a child, like, it's just fun to be around. I love being around you. You know what I mean? I love being around you. And people love being around you. That's what
Sour Patch Kids and Lunch Bucket.
Get some Lunchables?
Some Lunchables, some fruit by the foot.
So give us a little of a...
Gushers.
Talk to us about how and why you're being, like, how is that important to millennials? Like, being fun and being, excited.
I mean, I think it's a relatability thing. Number one, I think listen. For me, work has to be fun, right? If you're too stressed out all the time, or you're not having fun, then you should try to find something else. To be honest, but you got to remember, it's also up to you to find the fun in what you're doing. Like,
we just did it right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's not everything you do in work is going to be fun. So you have to be able to pull that out of it, right? And there's moments where you got to be more serious. And obviously I know, if we're in a client meeting, I'm not going to go, off the chain, say something really stupid, maybe. But you got to kind of you just got to have fun, and you got to be kind of that cool person. And when I say cool, I don't mean, not a geek or something like that, but you have to know how to relate and connect with people in different areas. Everyone's different, and you have to know how to connect with them and have fun in what they have fun doing, So I don't know if that makes sense, but...
No, it does. I mean, to be honest with you, most people don't have fun. I worked in certain companies and it was dead. It's like you walk into a fucking mortuary.
I can't, bro. I managed a copy center.
Listen,
and I turned that copy center into a fun environment. I was the manager of that copy center. I was like, you know what? I'm going to challenge the status quo. The status quo is this. Copy centers are boring.
Yeah.
But I would not reduce myself to a boring copy center. I was like, if I'm going to be in this fucking copy center for 8 hours, we're going to have fun. I put on fun music. I had fun with the customers. I did little dances. I put little notes under the flaps of the van, so when customers would open it or my other employees would open it, they'd see like some dumb shit and they start laughing. Sitting there, I had a little rubber. I was the master at rubber bands, and there was like a pile of rubber bands everywhere.
Were you the clown in high school?
I definitely was. Now the key is you have to know when to slow down, and when to it's like you got to know when you can step on the pedal to the metal, when to step on the gas, and when to take your foot off the gas with that kind of stuff. There's a time and place for everything. But I guess my point is you have to be able to don't expect things to just naturally be fun. Be able to pull the fun out of it.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, millennials are amazing. We are amazing. You are amazing if you're watching this and you're a millennial. And listen, if you're a boomer, whatever. What's it called? Boomer? Baby boomer? Yeah, I'm a boomer. If you're a baby boomer, or if you're a Generation X, or you're from the generation of World War I, you still watch this, I don't know. That's fine. We still love you. We still respect you. But understand that the next generation is what's key. We have Generation Z, which we call a Generation Millennial, that are coming on board as well. like Generation Y is, so to say, right? Or
2
Generation
years.
Z. Anybody that's born from 2000 to 2018, they're about to turn 18, 19, 20 the next couple of years. And it's very important to get ready for them because they're almost the same breed as us, but they're just so used to the technology. They're so used to all the things that are, they're just like iPad. Look at 3-year-olds nowadays. Playing with these iPads, knowing secrets and settings, and way better than we can ever imagine. So it's very important to kind of get ready for that and be prepared for that. And hopefully you guys can enjoy working with millennials and look at them in a different light, a different perspective. Hopefully if you are a millennial, you can live up to those things and maybe find a place where you can call home, like a company. And if you're looking for a home, you already know where to call. Barayev Marketing and Mindset Solutions is what it all is about. So as you guys know, every single Monday we come at you spit fire and nothing but the truth and everything but the truth and the truth and the truth and the truth, right? So don't forget to subscribe down below. And if you're watching us on YouTube, do me a favor, share this video with a friend or family member so that they can actually get impacted and understand how you are wired.